MEC Vuyiso Ramakgopa is taking to the podium to deliver her keynote address.
I'd also like to acknowledge the head of department of the Gauteng Department of Economic Development, as well as all senior executives present today. We've also just heard from some of our delivery partners, and I know there are many more who are present today. I'd also like to thank you and acknowledge you for the work that you've done. Rishaina kalona, to be honest. If you are not able to deliver or you don't deliver, that makes bad, but today we are not here to talk about bad things. You know, it's nice when government can celebrate good stories and when we can actually look at the product of our investments and the product of our policies and our work, because people don't just eat policies. They want to see the impact and the outcomes of our policies. So ladies and gentlemen, today we are gathering to recognize the achievements of yourselves as the graduates today of phase 1 and 2. And I really want to give you a round of applause and ask everyone here to give you a round of applause. We have convened here today as representatives from government, from business, from the community, from academic institutions, to walk this journey with you and continue this walk that we have started with you. And we're all united by a shared belief that economic growth cannot happen in a bubble. It has to be inclusive. It has to be grounded in innovation and enterprise. And ultimately, it will be driven by partnership. And that is why, as government and as the Gauteng Provincial Department of Economic Development, we chose to embark on this model as a method for being able to deliver the kind of impact that we have set ourselves out to achieve. So your achievements deserve to be recognized. And I know that you have sacrificed a lot of your time with your family perhaps. You have suffered sometimes when you've been struggling with certain things, but today you stand able to reap the rewards of the time and the sacrifice that you have sowed over the last few years. So I really want us to acknowledge that. But as I look around the room today, despite your beautiful regalia, and indeed, Levandle, you look highly professional and gorgeous. I think the youth bare, you are clocking it. So y'all are all clocking it, okay? But as I look around the room today, I see more than just graduates. I see the future manufacturers in this room. I see the future industrialists of our economy. I see the agro-processors, those who will feed us and carry us as a population. I see the future employers of this province, the future exporters of this province. Some of you will go on to produce products that will be sold and enjoyed and add value to economies all over the world. Now, that ball is in your court. There's a saying that says, we can show you the door, but it is for you to walk through it. Think of this as a door that is now opened for you, and through the relationships that you build in your industry, and through the commitment that you make and the way you show up, it is going to define whether you are able to walk through the door and leverage those opportunities going forward. I want to touch a bit on the high impact part. You know, this program is called a high impact partnership delivery model. And what is the impact we are trying to make ultimately? And some of the speakers have spoken about it today. The impact that we are trying to make, first and foremost, is to create jobs and to create sustainable jobs for the people of Gauteng, first and foremost. Gauteng has the largest population of almost 16 million people, despite being the smallest province geographically. We also have a thriving and booming youth population. And I say it's actually one of our greatest assets, because young people are the future of this country and the future of this continent. But for us to be able to get to the jobs, we have to invest in the beginning. So you can't just expect a person to wake up and have a job. They have to be correctly skilled and capacitated. They have to ensure that the skills that they have are those that are actually in demand by the market, by the industry. Which means we have to make sure that we have a coherent economic plan and a vision for the province that we can build skills for, and that we can ensure that we support through all the different arms of the state. So we've developed what we call the GCR Economic Growth and Development Plan, and it is very ambitious but also unequivocal about the targets that we are setting for this province. We've set ourselves a bold ambition of growing this economy by between 3 to 5% in the medium term. In other words, in the next 5 years. Now, for those who don't know, in the last quarter, we were only growing at about 0.5%. And for us to get to that 3 to 5% is going to be a massive task. It's going to be a massive task, and it's not going to be the task of government alone. It's going to require big business, small business and entrepreneurship, capital providers, funding institutions, as well as government at all our levels to get involved in making sure that we are able to achieve those targets. But those targets are not just high-level wishes. We have also gone further to expand those targets into 12 key sectors that we have identified as high-growth, job-creating sectors. Because growth is just, in itself, is also not enough. As I said, first and foremost, we have to be producing jobs, sustainable ones. So our growth must be tied to industries that are able and highly capacitated to absorb the labor that we are building in our economy. So the manufacturing sector becomes a critical part of that. The green economy, agro-processing, the creative sector is a big employer of young people in this province. We also look at some of the newer sectors, your digital and ICT sectors, the green hydrogen, and the cannabis sector, which has uses from recreational right up until very specialized medical cannabis. And mind you, Gauteng is very present and prominent in that space. We also look at sectors like business process outsourcing. So beyond even just call centers, it's also about creating support services that can be used globally. So when we talk about export, we're not just talking about exporting products, we're also talking about exporting our skills base through global business services. And of course, many of you and some of the earlier speakers have touched on some of the industries. So manufacturing happens in different subsectors. There's steel manufacturing. The automotive sector is a very key sector for us. And a lot of that activity is happening in Tshwane. And we develop these sectoral focuses because we know that through a concerted focus on these sectors, we can then also grow the entrepreneurial value chain that will then feed into many of these industries. Whether it's producing of component parts, servicing of equipment, We met a company the other day that is manufacturing EV batteries. So the batteries that are used for electric vehicles. And they are assembling those batteries here in Gauteng. And 70% of the parts that are used in those EV batteries are produced here in South Africa. So every screw, every sticker, every button, those things are jobs because they need our people to be there to produce them. And that is what we are trying to create when we talk about the Gauteng Growth and Development Plan. And the Sedibeng region is a critical part of that plan because it also connects us to other provinces. So our growth plan does not just affect us as Gauteng, because we have a number of other provinces that also border us. Free State, Limpopo, Mpumalanga. We have our border industries and some of our rural peri-urban economies that also benefit from the industrial activities and the agriculture activities and agro-processing that we invest in. Recently, the last time I stood in this hall, we were announcing the Vaal Special Economic Zone. Some of you might have been here when we were doing our public participation for the Vaal Special Economic Zone. Now, the Vaal Special Economic Zone is a massive project, essentially, wherein through national government, provincial government, and working also with local government, we are able to designate specific areas and go and attract investment from companies that will then come and invest in our province, and particularly in the Vaal region. Already we've been able to secure investments, an investment pipeline of over 1.5 billion rand. And it's looking across different industries in the manufacturing. Thank you, MMC, for clapping for me. But really, it's a massive boost and will be a massive boost to the economy of Vaal because it brings with it also the multiplier effects. And many of you and your businesses will very much find yourself as part of that Vaal Special Economic Zone. You may find yourself actually being located there. You may be working with companies that are producing in the Vaal Special Economic Zone. And it's the first special economic zone that is actually a multi-location special economic zone. So there's one part of it that's in the Mid-Vaal area, another part of it I think is in Emfuleni. Lilisedi is another pocket. So we are spreading the love. We are saying we are going to get this Vaal region popping. No matter where you are, you will find us. So this event and this graduation must not be seen in isolation. We have no interest, and I want to say this very clearly. We are not going to be graduating young people that we are sending into unemployment. We are not graduating young people to send them into unemployment. We are building an economy that will be powered by yourselves, by your skills, and by your businesses. And we are making sure that we build those ecosystems at all levels, starting from the investors, going right up until the school leavers and those who are still thinking about what careers they want to take. And we have to think about that whole pipeline. So I want to acknowledge once again the partners that have chosen to walk this journey with us. I wasn't being flippant when I said Rishana Kaluna, because very often when government does try to implement or to empower businesses and run projects with other companies, we get let down. We get let down. And those failures, of course, become then the perception that the public has about our own delivery record. So we don't take it lightly that you have honored the call that we made and you have honored the people that you said we wanted to work with and we wanted to assist. And I'm hoping that this program can continue to grow from strength to strength. It can't just end here. We are also, of course, present in a number of other regions. It's not just limited to Vaal. Hey, next thing I'll be on the news saying, MEC biased. She's always in Sidibeng. Why? But like yourself, Ntate Kintatendo, I like the name of your company also, Elefanti. You know, like yourself, we don't have any horse in this race. We don't have any horse in this race. We don't have favorites. We just want to see this province growing. We want to see the best people for the job getting the job. We want to see the most talented young people getting the opportunities. We want to see those who are ready and available to work getting the jobs. And we want to see every person in here today going on to become successful and shining, not just in Gauteng, but even on global stages somewhere. So my call to action and my request from you today is do that, please. Go out there and make us proud. Go out there and fly the flag of Gauteng as high as you can. And go out there and tell the good stories. Of course, we've got many challenges as a country, but there are others, myself included, who are fighting to make this country work and who want to really, truly get behind other people who are trying to make this country work. And in you, I see an opportunity, and I'm filled with hope that we can indeed achieve that objective of an inclusive Gauteng, a growing Gauteng, a Gauteng that is leading in innovation, in entrepreneurship, that is known not for its stories of corruption and whatever other things, but it's known for its excellence and the fact that we are the place to be if you are looking for top talent, top businesses, and a government that is ready to work and partner with others and that is responsive. So ladies and gentlemen, with that said, I would like to congratulate you once again, but to also say that this is not the end of our journey. Chief Director, DDG, the hard work only begins. You are now, and you've made, what did they say? We're an enemy of our own success. So what did they say? You're not you. You are an enemy of your success, because now that we have seen what's possible, we are going to need to do 10 times more. We cannot afford to be complacent. We have 2.6 million people in this province alone who are sitting at home right now, depending on us to show leadership and to open the doors that will get our young people and our people in Gauteng employed. And you've started something. Let's make sure we continue this journey and we finish strong. Ke a leboha, and thank you for the opportunity.
And that was the keynote address from MEC Vuyiswa Ramokgopa, touching on some of very important things, speaking on the growing of the economy by 3 to 5% in 5 years. And she indicating as well that it will require big, small funding institutions and government to all get involved. And she also did indicate the 12 key sectors identified for high growth. And these are the industries that will also be able to absorb labor, which is the green economy, the the creative sector, the manufacturing, digital sectors, green hydrogen, cannabis sector, and the business processing outsources. And she also highlighted that Sidibeng region is actually critical to the plan, with the Vaal Special Economic Zone being the hub, the first economic zone with multi-location. And she also indicated that today they're not just graduating young people to send them into unemployment, but they want to see every person in that room, 2,500 young people in that room, all succeeding not only in Gauteng, South Africa, but also globally. And we are going to have also another note address coming through from one of the people we've just interviewed, Mr. Mutlacho Moholwa. But she also indicated that the initiative is not only limited to the Vaal, humoring us a little bit there, about the complaints she's got a feeling she'll be receiving in the media. It's not limited to Vaal, but Vaal was critically selected because of its neighboring areas, and her call to action to the graduates was to go out there, fly the flag of Gauteng, tell the good stories, and she wishes to see Gauteng growing and being known for its excellence.
Start by saying that, Francina, you talked about execution. So I'll add another word there, speed of execution. So we now need to execute with speed. The other important thing that I would like to say is that this program of high impact is not an isolated project or program. It's firmly embedded in our economic plan 2030. We call it GCR, Economic Growth and Development Plan 2030. The two pillars that are relevant to this program today, MEC, is small business development and entrepreneurship. And the second one is skill development and workforce development. So we say that unemployment rate in this country, in this province, is at a crisis level. So it requires a multi-pronged approach. So we don't want to produce skilled young people who are going to look for jobs and only to find that there are no jobs. So we're saying that we have got a lot of young people who have got capacity, aspiration, who are already entrepreneurs. So ours is to make sure that we have got a pool of capable young people who are owning their own businesses. And ours as government is to make sure that you are fully capacitated from A to Z. We always say that the less than 20% of the success of any business is financial support. More than 80% is non-financial support. Yes, finance is important, but it's not the only medicine. So as government, we want to make sure that through this program, we provide you with full-scale support from A to Z so that you are able to stand up and run and become successful. But we're also making sure that on the other side, as you become successful entrepreneurs and your businesses are growing and you are trying to get people to help you, when you go on the other side, you'll find young people who are ready to take up those positions, who are well equipped, well skilled, well experienced to be able to help you in your businesses. So we're doing both as part of executing our economic plan. So at the end of the day, as part of our economic plan under sector development and industry reindustrialization, we want to make sure that our sectors, MEC talked about the 12 sectors, we want to make sure that all those sectors are productive, are competitive, they are able to produce products that can compete with the best in the world. We want to see your products on our shelves in our various malls. We want to see our products in the shelves of various malls, various shops across the continent and across the world. So that's the work that we are trying to do with you and in partnership with our implementing partners. And I think that's very important for us to make sure that we, as much as we attract investment, we also want to make sure that we are able to sell our products to the rest of the world. And it's only through you that we can be able to do that. I was telling someone that all of us, when we were growing up, we never knew how to drive cars. But some of us today, we can drive. So all these successful business owners across the globe, there's nothing special about them. They're like you and me. So all they need, or all what you need, is the support that we should give you. But again, MEC and MMC, in our plan, we are saying that we need cooperation, we need partnership, we need collaboration, we need innovation with our partners. And that's why in our plan, we are saying that you need private sector, you need academia, you need civic sector, you need all three spheres of government. All of us should work together to make sure that we solve the problems that we have today. But I think based on this, we should be able to make progress. And that's why I'm so appreciative of having our implementing partners here. So when Mr. Ruzion was speaking here, he spoke about the fact that when we made a call for proposal, there was so many numbers that all of us were surprised that there are so many people out there who want to work with us. But lastly, before I give you an opportunity to enjoy your day, we are saying that the skill development is not one-dimensional exercise. It's also informed by the industry. So the involvement of the private sector, the involvement of the industry in making sure that the skill development that we do, the empowerment that we do, is the empowerment that is required in the market. And I think that is one of the unique aspects of this program. You are not just shooting in the dark, but you are addressing a specific need of the industry. And I think with this program, MEC and MMC, I think if we upscale it, I think at the end of the day, we should be able to resolve our problem. So these people today who are here, who are graduating, you are ambassadors. And as MSC said earlier, this is not the end of the journey. We want to work and walk with you from now on to make sure that your businesses are successful, to make sure that you are able to get all the support you need, to make sure that if you want to export, we also work with you to export the rest of the world. I think mine was just to give a message of appreciation, a message of saying that we are in this journey together, the message of saying that the sky is the limit, the message of saying that there's nothing impossible. Of course, the journey is not going to be smooth sailing, but I think perseverance at the end of the day will make sure that we are able to reach our destination. With these few words, Program Director, let me say thank you very much. I hope I delivered as you expected. Thank you very much.
was also the keynote address from Mr. Motlatcho Moholwa, touching once again on some of the key issues that he indicated while we had the interview with him. Speaking about absorption, skills upgrade, and elevation. A little bit later on, we will be having the beneficiaries. I see some have already been passing, wanting to have a sit down with us and tell us how they are feeling about today as we are attending the Gauteng Department of Economic Development's HIPDM program. Do follow them on their socials on Facebook and YouTube, Gauteng Department of Economic Development, on X at Gauteng DED, and on Instagram, Gauteng DED1, as well as on the website www.gauteng.gov.za. Nakalibizo, I am Lendeni Mkize. It's 39 minutes past the hour, 11 a.m. And as you can hear in the background, the festivities are still continuing. 2,500 men and women set to walk across the stage. And I am being joined by one of the beneficiaries who is here to provide a personal account of how the program has been for him so far. Can you kindly introduce yourself? Give us a smile. Tell us about yourself and how has it been for you so far?
Ms. Kamela Rasibalo Makhajani, and I'm from the Val Triangle. I'm a young individual, eager, very, I don't even know
the
what
list
to
is
say.
endless.
Yeah, it's endless, basically. Yeah.
So what motivated you to be part of the program?
Well, to be brutally honest, I was staying at home, doing nothing, basically just waking up, going to the store, going back home, sleeping and doing whatnot. And then this initiative came up and my mom was just like, you know what, because you're not doing anything at the moment, here's something that you can do. It's for 6 months, but you don't know what tomorrow holds for you.
Yeah.
Just go try this out. And then I woke up that morning and I went to submit my things and I was called in and I was given this opportunity.
Yeah.
That's how it came about.
Nice. And what skills have you learned so far?
Well, I was doing new venture creation. So
Tell us a
basically
bit
it's all
more.
about entrepreneurship.
Okay.
How to treat your customers, how to draft your business plans, how to go about marketing your business and all that. Yes.
Yeah. So is it something that you've put thought into while having the skills? Is there like a business that you want to start up, anything?
I can say I've always been business minded, but I did not know where to go or how to go about it and how to get funding and all that. But being in this program has given me a lot of insight on where to go, what to do, how to go about everything. So I can say it has been fruitful.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
have you been to the economic hub yet, or
I haven't been
you
there
haven't
yet.
been there?
Yes.
So soon you'll be going there,
I
obviously.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've mentioned that you were sitting at home, sleeping most of the day.
Yeah.
You know, since joining the program, how has your life changed?
Well, I can say it has changed so much because I joined the program, I think it was in March, if not April. It ended in October. And immediately when it ended, I was approached by my current
Oh,
employer, who
nice.
is Ntando Kubeka. He gave me a start. He employed me. I am now one of his administrative team. I am now with Oakley Consultants, and I think this program changed my life in such a way that I was not doing anything, depressed at home, waking up doing the same thing every day, to now waking up and actually doing something that
Yeah.
is worthwhile.
I think, you know, your face just answered my next question. What has been your proudest moment? You know, you mentioning that you now have a job, I could tell your face lights up. Is that
Yeah.
your proudest moment?
That
Has there been
definitely
many
is.
more proud moments that you've
That
had?
is, and I think also because we were doing motorcycles, we were going to deliver. So I never thought in my life that I would actually get on a bike, know how to ride a bike, and be
Nice.
confident in riding a bike. But now I know how to ride a bike. I have a license, a
And this is
motorcycle
all,
license
you did all this through the program?
through the program.
Wow.
Yes. So I am 100% sure that I can ride a bike. I am employed. I am like, this has changed my life in so many aspects.
Yeah. So what,
Yes.
what message would you like to share with other young people who were in a similar situation that you were in?
The most important thing that we must always do when we get learnerships, we must not just say, it's 2,000 Rand, what am I going to do with 2,000 Rand? You don't know what possibilities, or you don't know what impact that might have on your life. So I could just tell them to always apply, always apply, never lose hope, because you never know how it will change or impact your life one day.
Yeah.
I am a living testament of 2,000, what are you going to do with 2,000 at your age? And that 2,000 for 6 months changed my life. And look at where I am today.
And look at where you are today.
Yes.
So just as a wrap up, you know, what are your goals for the future? I know you now have a job. Are you complacent in the job, or you still have other things that you would like to achieve?
There are a lot of things that I want to achieve, but for now, I think I just want to give my company like a few years so that I can grow and know how to manage my finances and all that, because I can say this is basically, it's a new role. I've worked before, but it's been mostly in learnerships. So now that I'm in a permanent employment, this is going to help me to manage my finances and whatnot, and then maybe at a later stage I can advance and do other things.
Thank you so much for joining us. That's one of the beneficiaries, providing a personal account of how the program has been for him, and his face says it all. If you can't see the smile through the camera, then I don't know, shame on you, but his face says it all. You're very proud of what you've achieved. 6 months, he's found a job. 6 months, he now knows how to ride a motorcycle. He's got a motorcycle license. 6 months, he's earned his 2,000 Rand, which made a huge difference in his life. And we are joined by another beneficiary, Witumelo Mashilo. Okay. O motle jwang? No, la nhlokomeza. Why le sa kenye? Smiling good though, my dear, looking good.
Thank you very much.
Everyone,
Looking good yourself.
everyone I'm seeing across here is so happy. You're all smiles. King, get her bonnet.
Yeah.
Thembisa gets her.
It's happy, yeah.
Yeah.
Hope.
Hope. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, Bitumelo Mashilo grew up Kokasi, went to school, never finished because of financial issues and stuff like that. But I've been going in and out of the learnerships. But now, kikeni hoyangu ya Oakley. And then, by the grace of God, ke thotse mosebetsi.
Through this initiative.
Yes.
Through this initiative.
Yes.
So take us through the process of applying and being called to come participate. 2,500 I've heard. How
It
was the
2.5.
process for you?
It wasn't bad because tlamile o qala with a CV, babatla CV, the qualifications, all your documents, and then you apply, baubita, you go through the barraking.
The vetting process.
Yes, and then you attend the class. After the class, it's the what do you call that?
Assessments.
Yes. After that, the
Practical.
say.
Yes.
The practical ne di le thata man. I fail. As wa mpona ke mtenya jwang. Ne ke etsa ya di bike.
Oh, nice.
And when I applied, everyone was like, bra, o le mtenya so ke re he wena. Unemployment is nipa pen place. So I'm here who thola borotho bo.
Yes. So now you can ride a bike. You've got the skills.
I've got everything.
You've got everything. So tell us, how was life before coming, to do the program? We heard from the other participant, Horiena, he was all hosting like everything in J. He was in a dark space, so to speak. So how was your life before the program?
I can say it was boring as hell because neketsowa tlapisa ngwana ya sekolong ke palama bethe ke a robala. I eat, go to sleep, watch TV, sleep, go to sleep, cook nje. That was the life for me.
Okay.
But now that ke thotse mosebetsi through the learnership, yes. And thanks to Oakley Consultants. If it wasn't for Oakley, I think I be mo killing today.
Okay, I'm going to release you, but before I do that, what does the future hold for Witumelo?
Beautiful things.
Beautiful things.
Yeah.
As beautiful as you.
Yo, more than me.
Thank you so much, Witumelo. I believe now it's time for you guys to walk across the stage. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
going to be joined by the MEC for Economic Development, Agriculture and Rural Development, Ms. Vuyiswa Ramokgopa, who will be providing the strategic vision behind the high-impact partnership delivery model and explain how it contributes to Gauteng's economic development priorities. And we have her in the hot seat. Just kidding. It is the MEC for Economic Development, Agriculture and Rural Development, Mrs. Vuyiswa Ramokgopa. Thank you so much for joining us. Looking beautiful, I must say. So can you tell us a little bit more about today's program?
Thank you so much for having me and enabling me to have this conversation. Today we are gathering under the auspices of the Gauteng Department of Economic Development's High Impact Partner Delivery Model, and we are graduating the young people that have participated in this program. Now, what is this program? It's essentially a partnership between ourselves as government with private sector partners who we have targeted to assist us in actually creating work opportunities, skills opportunities, and entrepreneurship opportunities for young people. And this program tracks directly with our Gauteng economic growth plan. So it focuses on sectors that we believe are high growth or high potential sectors, and sectors that also have an opportunity to create jobs and also to drive SMME development. You know, we often talk about SMMEs being the engine of our economy. We talk about the fact that if we need to create jobs, we need to be able to support SMMEs. But we often don't talk about what does it take to create even a successful SMME. And at the beginning of the journey, you need to have people who, one, have skills, understand the sector they're in, have experience in the sector they're in, have actually had some opportunity to work and operate in that sector, and then be capacitated to go on and start businesses in those sectors. And that's really what we're talking about today, and the people that we are celebrating are those people.
2,500 graduates, that's a large number.
Yeah.
Are you still hoping to see more graduates in the future?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Today we are really only graduating the phase 1 and phase 2 graduates, and there have been a number of subsequent phases that are still in process. So this is a program that started a couple years ago. I think it would have started in 2024. And it continues to grow from strength to strength as other industries also come on board.
Yeah.
We have graduates today that have participated in SME capacitation programs in the mining sector, in the global business services sector, in the software engineering and tech sector, and others, you know. And these are really industries that we believe as Gauteng we have an opportunity to lead in. But we just need to make sure that we have young people who are well capacitated to leverage the opportunities in the sectors.
You said you hope to grow the economy by 3 to 5%. Well, it sounds like a small number, but how does it translate in the bigger picture?
Yo, it's a huge number. It's a huge number. I mean, Gauteng right now is tracking, well, the country actually has been relatively on level growth. In other words, we're about 0.5% economic growth in the last quarter. And as you know, the job numbers continue to be very, very stubborn. So we are also still sitting on about 40% unemployment, which is an unacceptable number. So out of that 3% economic growth, what it means and what it speaks to is the fact that we actually need to create about 500,000 sustainable jobs in the medium term out of Gauteng alone. Mind you, in the country nationally, there are also many people who come to Gauteng looking for opportunities. So, the more we succeed, also the more people continue to come. So it's a moving target, to be honest. But that is our ambition, that is our goal, and we are looking at sectors that have the ability to deliver that kind of impact. And one of our key projects and goals as a province is to re-industrialize and drive the re-industrialization of the province. This very region that we are in, Sidibeng, was once upon a time the province's industrial engine. The steel sector, advanced manufacturing, parts manufacturing, and so on and so forth. And the depression of some of those sectors and also companies that have left the region has really caused the unemployment rate to skyrocket and the quality of life of the people in this region to really be below par. So that's what we have to work towards.
Thank you so much, MEC, for taking time out. I know you were rushing off, but thank you so much for making time.
Thank you. I
really
appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
and we are being joined by the Chief Director. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Had to pull out a smile out of you, but look at that.
No, I also had to put it out from deep
You
within
had
the
to
lungs.
pull it out from deep within,
Yeah.
but you did explain why, and I completely understand. You know, it's a
Definitely.
big event today.
Yeah.
This is the second phase.
This is, so let me start here, but we had the first phase, which was done between 2024 to 2025. The first phase was also targeted at sectors that are geared for labor absorption. For example, the global business services, we talk about call centers, we talk about data annotation. So we had to start with that because we had initially had a target for jobs, to create jobs within the province. And then we also had targeted niche sectors. In phase 2, we rolled out the program in full force, where we had sectors like transport and logistics. 3 weeks back or a month back, we had launched the partnership with Take a Lot, Checkers 6060. This was on course to say that we need to support the gap they have in terms of delivery last mile drivers, and they can be absorbed as SMEs. So as we speak, we've got 500 beneficiaries that have been onboarded on Take a Lot, Checkers 6060, who are currently running their businesses. We have over 400 people that have jobs that have been sustained and created in the first and second phase. Currently, we are going to start in a week or so the rollout of phase 3. But also taking that into consideration, we still have phase 1 renewals. So basically what we mean by renewals, you would have your complex projects like aerospace and defense, in which there's a first phase of training and the second phase, which basically deals with technical aspects. So it's a throughout program. Our hopes is that obviously we get more funding and then we can roll it out into a new intake, which also will be focused on reindustrialization, will be focused on localization, basically promoting locally produced products, getting them into the value chains, placing young people into critical job opportunities, and then that's the long and short of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it makes sense, the scooters.
Yeah.
Because there was a talk of the scooters with
Correct.
the beneficiaries earlier
Yeah.
on. So, but like, can you kindly explain how does the model actually work?
Welcome. So let's start here. It's not a typical tender process. So
Okay.
we had went out in June 2025. We went out to the market, we were advertising newspapers. Our call was that if you're an implementing partner with critical skills in various sectors, we call upon you to apply. We had a massive turnout of applications where we had over 500 applications. These are already existing projects in the province. So from then, we then managed to appoint 40 partners. In those 40 partners, the partners were now entrusted with training. So, for example, they will train 30 youth. If they're training youth, it will be 30 youth. And the most important thing is that we're not training without a pipeline. We want to make sure that those youth are placed in job opportunities. You'd also have a partner that is focusing on ESD. Then they will support SMEs. But what we are tracking as a KPI is not the support of SMEs, it's the market access and the turnover generated by these SMEs. Currently, as we stand, we have got 23 million. This is 23 million of turnover generated by small enterprises within various sectors. So it's not only about training, it's not only about support, but the end goal is about what we get out of that, the return on investment.
Yeah, I can tell that you are the man on the ground working this, eh? So, but yeah, like, how have implementing partners contributed to the success of the program?
Well, greatly so, greatly so. I mean, when you look at the niche skills, you look at aerospace and defense, these are youth that are now going to participate within the value chain of that. We're talking about youth that are geared to assist in localization of components that will be used in drones. We are talking about, when you look at ICT, we have got around about 10 prototypes when we have dragons then in terms of creating how to monetize those particular things. So the critical element that the implementing partners bring is critical skills. How do they entrench those skills? And as well as is their network within the industry. Because after empowering people or beneficiaries with those skills, the next task is to make sure they are placed, they've got business opportunities.
Okay, thank you so much. And what opportunities will now be available to beneficiaries? The beneficiaries did highlight themselves some of the opportunities.
Correct.
But can you expand on that, from different industries?
Well, That's a long ask because now we have got various sectors. Let's take, for example, in chemical and pharmaceutical, we have got around about 3 beneficiaries who have loaded their products to Discam. One of them is Touch Detergent, who's basically able to sell their products in large FMCGs. That is particularly one. When also you look at agro-processing, we have got two particular enterprises that I can think on the top of my head, which received ISO standards. So basically they are able to export their products even outside the boundaries of South Africa. So those are opportunities that we look at to say that how can they break boundaries within the value chains? Because we don't want to, for example, e-commerce, when it was introduced, you had a few number of local drivers who were in the sector. If you recall, 2 years back, there was the extension of Zimbabwean exemption passport, which if it was not extended, all these delivery partners were going to have a gap of 250,000 drivers. Then we get up as a department to say, how do we close that gap? How do we get our people participate in them? And this is part of the last mile program. We say we need to get them licenses. We need to make sure that we've got partners that can give them bags, and these people can basically operate that business from that premise point.
Yeah. So looking ahead, what would you say is the department's vision for expanding the HIPDM? I know you touched on it a bit, but what's the vision as a whole in expanding it?
The one is that obviously we're going to go into new sectors that we didn't pay much more attention on it, and that was based on our budget that we had. So now we're going to look at energy. We're going to look also at the green economy, supporting renewables in that particular instance, supporting people acrossing even components of solar installation and so forth. We're also going to take greater look into the construction industry, not only the buildings and material, but also looking at simple skills such as welding, how to get our people them. In broad, what even our MEC says that we should double the target. So in the next 3 years, our target is to have over 10,000 jobs created, is to have over supported 15,000 SMEs. And also what we're looking at mostly as a new area is how do we get our goods and services outside the borders of the country? How do we do export promotion with regards to the SMEs that have been positioned to supply goods that are in need?
Yeah. All right, thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
And that's it from the Gauteng Department of Economic Development's HIPDM. It's been a stellar day. They're still walking across the stage, receiving their certificates. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to follow them on their socials, on Facebook and YouTube, the Gauteng Department of Economic Development, on X, Gauteng DED, and Gauteng DED1 on Instagram, and also www.gauteng.gov.za. If you are sitting at home and you would like to find out how to be part of this program, do go visit their website.